that's what you do. You buy these things that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, with a smile on his face.
They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without books. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second season.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that. Absolutely fascinating. You wake up, you get a message, and the lovely Karen Kariakou sent me a message, and she said, have you heard about Diogo Jota? He's dead. He dies in a car crash. And you know what? It reminded me on December the 8th, 1980, when I got woken up, and it was 20 past 7 in the morning, and I was told that John Lennon had been shot dead in New York. And you don't get over these things. So that reminded me of that morning and that message. And as I was answering Karen, our Francine phoned me, and she said about him. She said, I can't believe it, Taz. I thought it was a rumour. That's why I've got this on to number 20. And yeah, there's nothing, you see, we're Liverpool supporters. You go to the game, you watch the game, and you see them, and, you know, and they become part of the family. They become part of us. And I was watching live a stream where you see the people going and paying the tributes. And I phoned Francine up, and I was just chatting to her. And I said, do you know what? I said, I seen this little lad with Virgil on the back, big number 4. It's only a kid about 8 or 9. I said, and he laid something down, and he was with his mum, and he was crying because he was older than his mum. You know, he was hidden from the camera, but he was older. You know, he had his back to the camera, whoever was filming, and you know, the film crew. And I said he was in tears, and she said I went with Sophia, and she was in tears. That's my granddaughter. So you see how it affects, or has affected everybody. I was watching Mark Goldbridge, and he gave a great tribute. A smashing tribute. And there's another girl named Alice. I looked at her, and she was wonderful. And these are two Man United fans. So it shocked everybody. Now, Francine said that, that there is some on social media, having a go. And even that Alice said that, and also Mark Goldbridge. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see any of that. For a lad who got married in the last couple of weeks, there's little kids, 3 little kids, his little daughter in arms. Can you imagine the parents? Think about it. His wife's parents and his parents. His parents have got to bury 2 sons. There's nothing I can say, honestly. Absolutely nothing. I'll see what you've been saying, good people. Callum. Franco, our number 20, has gone forever. Edward, gone too soon, Frank. Just got married in June the 28th. Mark Simons, all the way from the Gibraltar. Diego is with Jesus now, Frank. God bless him and his family at this tragic time. You never walk alone. Simon, hi Frank and chat. Very sad news regarding Diogo. Jose. I can't say that word. I could never say that word, Tessera, is it? To Silva and his brother Andrew. Praise for Ruta, his beautiful wife and 3 children. Rip Diogo. You will always be a legend. That's a lovely tribute. The Bear. Frank, we have lost one of our own. Prayers go out to Jota's wife, children and parents. Jota's brothers, family too. You will never walk alone. The Bear. Frank, we are the Hillsborough survivors. It stays like today where it all comes flooding back. It makes you realise every day is a blessing. Yep. It is. I wept today when I listened to all the, see, when you recollect these memories, I said to someone once, music brings back memories, but it also brings back bad memories. You think of something, a good time, oh yeah, it was great. Then all of a sudden another one comes on you. Oh. Sad, what I'm saying, I'm not saying a terrible, sad memories. That's all I'm saying. And stories being just a hard-working, decent fella who didn't complain or kick up a fuss, but he would go out of his way for anyone. You're right. You're right. I remember we scored, he was sitting on the bench with Chiesa. And you should have seen that they were up there cheering, when we scored. cheer, albeit they were on the bench. That's why he was a part of the family. And Chiesa was as well, Federico. Simon, death leaves a heartache no one can heal. Love leaves a memory no one can steal. Oh, brilliant. As we big up there, Callum, Mark and Simon says it. Christopher, still sinking in. We have lost a great man, a player. Thoughts and condolences to their families and friends. It's so sad. You'll never walk alone. We can't get away from anything, can we? We can't get away from. I don't put posts up. And I put a post up yesterday. I had to. This is yesterday. And it was about a little girl in Gaza. And you see again, and she pulls a little raggedy clothes she's got. And she pulls the trousers up. She's only about 4 or 5. Excuse me. And whoever it was, this film crew, they gave her a lollipop. A lollipop. And she's looking at it, and she's looking at them. Should have seen her eyes and her little face. It wasn't a smile or anything. It was just, it's hard to explain what the expression was. And she looked up, and her eyes started to fill up. I said, I've got to share this. This is what's going on. Then today, we heard of this fella, Jeff Ellison, who comments on here sometimes. He put a fantastic picture up of his little granddaughter, Violet, who's Algeria, little girl, beautiful little girl. And Diogo sees it, goes over and kisses her on top of the head. And he takes a picture. And he put that picture up. That was Diogo Jota. And Jeff was putting up a sentence. He was saying, and he couldn't finish the sentence. And I said, you don't have to finish it. I know what you mean. I know you're emotional. He just couldn't finish his sentence. This is the effect it's had on people. I was with our Francine today. I didn't like to talk about it. Just Bella to tell you. Hiya, Bella. So much sadness for his family. A mother who lost her 2 sons and his wife and children. May God be with them. I was looking for something. It was only last night. And this fell out. That's strange, that isn't it? That fell out. It was when I was ill. And someone, sent me that. And that fell out. Not saying it was an omen or anything. Johan. Truly heartbreaking news about Diogo Jota and his brother Andre. May God rest their souls and provide strength to their family during this tragic time. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Johan. And as Simon says, Edward's a failure. Lee Brady, the Bronx. Hello, Frank. Hope you're well. Devastation is an understatement. Last hour, I've struggled more. My 19-month-old son was hugging me non-stop for about 20 minutes. I was in tears taking Jota. We'll never experience this again with his babies. Life is unpredictable and unfair at times. And that little girl who's on her own, and she's like you, Lee, she can never hug her parents because they've been killed. Just go on my site, Facebook site, and just have a look at that girl. Please do it. And it's only like what you said, Lee. Being hugged by your little boy. And that little girl can't hug her parents. Just like Diogo Jota's 3 children that he was so proud of. His little girl, 2 little boys and a little girl. Beautiful. And Simon, Johan, lovely words, thank you. The Red Bird, this is devastating, Diogo. And Andre, rest in peace. Sending my condolences to the family and friends, says the Red Bird. George said, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words to fully express this tragedy. Fucking hell. Addy, hey Frank and everyone, sad day for us all. I didn't know he was recently married. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. We definitely should retire. Yes, I agree, totally. Said that to our Francine before. Not only did Jota pass, but Lalani retired. Defo need to retire. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, boys. Yeah. Jota, mate. Rest in peace, Jota. Toscana, hiatus. I've seen it in writing. I've heard all the tributes, but I still can't believe it. I feel numb. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. My condolences to their family and friends, colleagues and fans. It's what we've gone through ourselves. My mate Frank Lawton, he says, it's like a curse on Liverpool Football Club. You've only got to see when we won our 20th and 1 million people showed up and you get a lunatic driving to it. Spoil the whole thing. Lee, I was shocked. I was actually in Broad Green, Aussie, having having a check-up, having a check-up there on my heart. Thought I'll switch the hospital Wi-Fi on, and as I had no signal, this was about 9:15 this morning, and all these messages, breaking news, came flooding in. I can't believe it, Frank. Just watched a small clip of the cop and Jota singing his song together the last time at Anfield. We put flowers down at Anfield earlier, me and my family. Do you know what? I was with Francine today. She was getting a new car, and we were just sitting there waiting for the fella. And whatever radio station they had on, the Diogo Jota song came on. Just came on. Just she said, Dad, that's. I said, yeah. So we thank them. And as he says, I remember DLT crying on Radio 1 breakfast show when John Lennon died. Marie Morgan. Hiya, Frank. Hiya, Marie. Hiya, sweetheart. And Lee says, yeah, I like Alice, the United supporter. I watch her videos a lot. It's nice to see all rival fans and teams sending love and energy to his family and friends. Yeah. And us, they said about us, which is great. And life is so precious. We all take it for granted sometimes. Of course we do. I've always said we take life for granted. I've taken it. Then I look at myself today. I even said, I said to someone who were here, and I think it was the electrician who I had, and it's my grandson's mate. And, he's coming to fix these lights. And I said, at your age, you just take things for granted. I said, try and get it into you not to do that. So I'll tell you something funny. I can't wear a certain watch. I'm terrified to go out there. And I said, I'll put it on today. Because I was only going for that Francine up straight there and back up to this car showroom place. So I decided to put this watch on. I'd never wear it. Anybody to wearing, if I'm out, I'd never go out now. So I put it on, and I forgot how to take it off. I know that sounds daft, because it's one of these things, can't take it off. Not how to do it. There's a certain way, so people can't rob it off your hand. I can't take it off. That's why I'm wearing it now. Jesus. Bella Italia. Hi, Franco. Hiya, Bella. I'm definitely going to Sicily. By hook or by crook, I'm going. I've got to get away. And I'm taking Francine and my granddaughter. I've got no one else to go with. Steve, Frank, I feel like I have lost two members of my family today, Diogo and Andre. Both rest in paradise, and my condolences to all his family. Gone, but never forgotten. Absolutely. Great that. IBR. Even in Don Franco, on a very sad day, I'm simply gutted. Reform UK, a Frank Carlyle. What is the castle called in your background? That castle is Liverpool Castle. It was built in 1234, so approximately 1234, and it was demolished in 1720. And preservationists then were saying, do not pull that down. That's the first building in Liverpool. It was built by William de Ferris, the first sheriff of Liverpool. Well, he started it anyway. When Liverpool got its road charter in 1207. 28th of August, 1207. Oh, there's me mate there. Never seen him. I'm wondering what he's got to say. Just let me just do this one. I will promise I'll go right through the messages because I'm bringing on my great friends Anthony and Scottish Bear says, Frank, I was on the Jamie Phillips chat. I said Jota owns Arsenal as a footballer, basically praising him as a footballer. People came at me in his chat. People I had never seen before. I'm having Jamie on next Tuesday, Bear, so remind him. That's when we'll be talking all the football. RGF. This is the lad I was talking about and his little granddaughter Violet. Unbelievably sad day, Frank. I still can't believe it. I feel so sorry for that poor family. I was saying about little Violet and Diogo going up to her and kissing her on the top of the head. And you took a picture. Your little lovely granddaughter. That's what kind of a fella he was. I'm going to bring in this wonderful man, Anthony Brown, because he does the history with him. And there he is. Hiya, Anthony.
Hiya, Frank. Good evening, all. Oh, man.
Sorry I'm a bit late bringing you on, but I had to go through some.
Frank, no apologies needed. I sat with you while you were talking, and the comments came through were just humbling. And it's like Scottish Bear said, and all of them were well worthy comments. But when Bear said, each day is a blessing. Wow, Frank, that's exactly what I was the same as you this morning. Lainey and I was sitting having a cup of tea in the front garden, thinking, "Oh, what a great day! There's sun shining." And Lainey spotted something, a headline from a paper which is despised in Liverpool. So I thought it was a wind-up, some kind of joke. And then it came out again, and again, and then it's just a leveler. Just your heart goes out. Heart goes out to his family, his wife, his children, and his mother, his father, you should not lose two sons.
No, 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 no parents, no wife of a couple of weeks,
No,
no children.
no.
And it's gone.
It's gone, and like you said, it brings back each memory we have, and we will never ever forget of loss before. With family. I'm thinking of my family and young ones we've lost, and as you said, John Lennon. It's that shock, and it's weird because we're all gonna go, but you kind of wish if there was a law of equal fairness in the universe, you would take all the bad people out and leave the good people as long as we could.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's like when you're told someone's ill, and you know that they haven't got one,
Yeah,
and when they do finally pass on, it still comes at a shock.
yeah.
But when someone goes out like Diogo Jota
Wow.
in a tragic accident,
It's disbelief, and you
it's
think,
it.
well, that's
It's
not right. That can't be.
Yeah.
And all day, I just sat in the chair for about 3 hours. I couldn't do anything. Lena was the same, she had to move, and then I thought, I've got to do something positive. I've got to, whatever,
I've just got. I don't know what the message is because I had to just start to change it.
Life is so fragile, Frank.
Yeah.
And we know it. We, as you said before, we understand it more so that we've got a few miles
Because
around the
we've
clock.
suffered. Yeah. We've suffered.
Yeah.
We suffered even in Paris when we were playing Real Madrid when the police were beating us up.
Yeah.
When the police were beating us up.
Well, you don't want to wish that on the younger generation, but it's to try and instill in them, live your life, don't take any wooden coins, just don't believe the BS, be happy, just be happy.
We got a message of a lovely girl named Lisa, and I'll show you that. There's another bloody thing there. I'll show you that. And she sent that, and it's the bird, the liver bird, but the liver bird has tears dripping on the shirt.
Yeah.
Not beautiful.
It's beautiful. I've seen some wonderful stuff today. Some absolutely.
I'll answer there at half time when we have a little break. Do you mind if I go on to these, see what we've been saying?
I'm here as your guest, Frank. It's your show. You go on.
And after the next hour, what we'll be doing, or just before, I've got to do some history. This is what tonight is. But this is history, unfortunately. And Steve, to the Scottish bear, he says, fuck them rats and other pods you were in. I went and put flowers down outside the Wolves Stadium as I was in the area. I feel sick to the stomach of Diogo Andre passing away today. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? He's around and he went to the Wolves thing. It's like I know lads who go down to Sheffield's Wednesday for the 15th of April. And they go down and put flowers down.
Because that's where it happened.
And Simon says, Frank, I feel your pain, but it's good that you're proceeding with your show tonight. It allows everyone in the community to express their love and fondness as well. Shows we never forget. Diogo. That's a lovely comment.
That's a lovely comment. And it's a lovely, lovely comment before and agreement from yourself with said the number 20 has got to go. That is now special.
It has to go. It's not like retiring or anything. It's a lad who's loved Liverpool, loves the fans, loves the club, loves the city, and that can't be put on another back. It won't feel the same.
No.
That's his forever. And as he says to Lee Brady, hug your boy tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hug your boy tight.
That's what it's all about.
Now, losing a parent like I know with Louise and Austin lives with that as poor little children. Rest in peace, Diogo.
Yeah.
Can't get any more than little Austin Mary. And he lost his parents.
Yeah.
Louise, his mum.
Absolutely. You can't get worse than that.
And Darryl, he phoned me today.
Oh.
And he said, I'm crying, Frank. I said, can't stop. He said, crying all day, still can't stop. Best finisher since Torres. Fact, Diogo 20.
Yeah. You and Austin have been in my mind all day, literally all day. And that's the only thing that yanked me out of...
And Ali the Noose, our Romanian friend. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. And Steve says to the bear, we have some vermin fans in our fan base saying on social media they wish it was Nunes. This is shocking. I have blocked these vermin. That's shocking. That. They're not Liverpool fans. They're not Scousers, I'm sure of it. See, you get people who saying that they are Liverpool fans, you know. Say like, no disrespect to Johan, but say like, you know, Manchester United were going through some, and you know, you could get fans from other clubs pretending to be a United fan, and that's what they're like.
That's the biggest problem with social media, is that everyone joins a pack to be accepted.
Well, I got banned. Remember, I got banned because I was hacked.
Yeah.
And I was asking for money off people.
Yeah.
And I've never asked for anything off anybody.
No.
And I tried to plead. And I went, it wasn't me. It's someone who hacked me. I don't ask for money off it. Still wouldn't. And I still haven't got my old account back. Still haven't got it back.
The whole thing is precarious. I have come so close for years to just shut the whole lot down. I backed off from lots of stuff, but it's toxic sometimes, Frank, because it's easy. Because it's almost like the faceless. You say whatever they want, and then no, you're not going to find them. Someone in a pub. If we're all in the pub having something to eat or having a drink, and someone stood up and said, this, you'd be knocked out. No.
I know, I was conned, wasn't I? By a cowboy. And my nephews, I've just seen one of them, he's just been up with his mate. I can tell you who it is. My grandson. Who is he? You tell them. Because I know what will happen to the fella. It's the way it is. Horrible people. His last goal on Merseyside says, Darryl, his last Merseyside derby, thank you for being a truly wonderful footballer, a part of this Liverpool family forever. A red, love you, Slaughter. Diogo, 20. The lovely Lil Ellis. Even in Frank, unbelievable about Jota. It won't sink in. Too young.
Too young is right.
Leader Wizkid, hi Frank and chat. Just wanted to say hi and a big love to all. Totally gutted, as I'm sure you all are as well. Don't know what else to say. You'll never walk alone. They're all saying hello to one. The Scottish. Frank, Celtic. That brings me back to Hillsborough and Celtic. Celtic grabbed Liverpool Football Club, the players, by the scruff of their neck and shook them and said, you're getting up to parket. And we played our first competitive game there. And I've got to mention AC Milan in the same breath. Because AC Milan, after Hillsborough, told the referee at the San Siro, I forget who they were playing. And they said, stop the game after a minute. And they did. The referee stopped the game after a minute. Because obviously they told them, say like it was Sampdoria, I'm just saying. The Sampdoria team, and after the whistle went, they all stood for a minute's silence for the victims of Hillsborough. And never guess what was played? You Never Walk Alone. That was by AC Milan. Not Inter, AC. Albeit I support AC at Napoli.
Yeah.
First person I rang was Frank, and I was crying like a baby. How much I loved Jota. You're right. And I just said it. Leader Wizkid. Hi, Edward. Right, so I'm going to go right down, and then we'll carry on. Steve. Our club's success is cursed with tragedy, from celebrating our 20th title parade to Diogo wedding day to his passing. Yes. And poor Darryl's saying, I can't get over this bit. And as he says, think they'll do something special for Diogo and Andre when we play Wolves. They'll have to do something. But we've got the pre-season. But I know what you mean. Do you know what I think on the first day? And all be a bit of a mess for the refs. I think they all should wear number 20. I really do. Everyone, even our goalkeeper, Ali, all should wear a number 20 for the first game. Even for the first half or the second half. That's me though, that's just me. Bella Italian. Yes, you've got to go to Sicily. It was my father's love for the Sicily till the day he died. I wish I could talk to you, Bella, because I don't know what place to go. I want to get to Palermo. I want to visit Palermo no matter what. So I was thinking of Cefalù, which is near Palermo. It's a beautiful place as well. And the other place I was looking at, which is lovely, is Catania, but that's in the south of Italy. The total opposite of Palermo, if you know what I mean. And Bella says, "Hi, Anthony. Hope you're well."
Thank you, Bella. Hi. I hope you are. Hope you are too. I'm enjoying listening to your advice over Italy.
Yeah. I'd love to have a chat with her, but I
Yeah.
can't because it's nuts. I've got no contact. She's got no contact with me. Ali the new says, "Imagine there, Mum, the pain she feels." Incredible.
I see it and sort of how it happened to my family. It's like ripples, and the ripples go because of the loss,
Yeah.
and then they come back, and then they're there forever. No, my family haven't got over their losses, and they never will. And
No,
maybe
you never will.
that's the way it should be, Frank. It's
I
not like
remember, I remember a mate of mine, and he died when he was 24,
yeah,
24 years of age.
same
And I
with me.
remember saying to my grandmother, I said, it was my birthday, and she said, you know, I said, you know what? I said, this is the best, the best, the best year, being 24 years of age. No one can take it away from anybody. 24 years of age.
Yeah,
I said it's the finest year you can be alive. That's what I said.
yeah,
Next performance is I'm getting told that my mate had leukemia and he died. Same age, 24. So
true.
I'd never get over that.
Yeah, my uncle
As I said,
Paul, the same. My mum's youngest brother. But you know what? Anyone we lose, I think there's parts of them that inspire us to do what we do always, and it's that
I,
inspiration that.
I think that's brilliant. And I'll tell you for why. That was my thinking. I wanted to do something. Um, I just didn't want to waste life going
Yeah,
through life and not achieving anything. And that's the same for us all, I think. But you've got to have a little bit of a push.
yeah,
I think his death pushed me, just pushed me in the back.
it does. Because it stays with you there, and it stays with you there.
Yes, of course. Jane Divers. Good evening, Frank, on this very sad day. No words, heartbreaking, and 3 broken hearts. That's
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
That's lovely. And the bear says, "Anthony, I hope you're well, you wonderful man."
Oh, Bear, just wonderful words from a wonderful man. I truly get behind what you were saying before, and the fragility of life is, we hear songs, we hear poems. I put music on today when I was working Oh my God, how that music just takes you to a place you want to cry, or you want to laugh, or you remember the goodness in the world. You know, uh,
I always remember our friends. I'll tell you what you want to play. You know that I listen to classical music and opera.
yeah, me
And
too.
what you want to listen to is Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings. It's all violins.
I had it on today. Then a
Oh,
Stein's Orchestra. I put all my stuff, my favorite stuff, in a shuffle. So you have Jimi Hendrix, you have uh, classical, but the one that stopped me in my tracks today, and I had to just sit there and cry, was a wonderful piece of music by Van Morrison called "Have I Told You Lately."
oh,
If you've heard it, great. If you haven't heard it,
oh,
put it on tonight and turn it up.
oh. I
And
can't.
that, you know,
I really can't because it
wow.
resonates with me,
And you
unfortunately.
is one of a song by Sting, which was written, I think, in 1986, called Fragile.
Oh,
And those two tracks, amongst many, because music, as we know, is like poetry. It's like
it's
record.
got to be the right music, though. Because I said to Francie, and I said, I want this played at my funeral. She said, I'm not playing that. I said, why? She said, they'll all be crying. Seeing you going down and not it's Angio's playing.
No,
That's
do
what
you
I
know
want them to do.
the first time I heard that piece of music was actually in a film,
Oh,
and
yeah. I think it was Metal Jacket or something like that. It was about Vietnam.
well, this it's the Elephant Man,
Oh, the Elephant Man, really? I didn't
and
know.
it scene where his doctors were kind of warning him, if you sleep like this, you could lose the ability to breathe, and you
Yeah.
might pass away. And there's a scene where he did exactly that, pushed the pillows out of the way, laid down, and that music played. Honest to God, Frank Hour was gone. And Lainey and I then years and years later, um, our nephew, God love him, got married down in Cornwall, and the whole family went down there, and that was the music, and it's just a beautiful, and totally
It
get
is.
what such an emotional piece of music, you
Do you
know.
know, it is. Where you see in Full Metal Jacket, I think it's called, and you
Yeah,
see Willem Dafoe, great actor, and he's running towards the helicopter, and they're all on the helicopter, and they're coming, and all of a sudden he gets shot, and then it goes slow motion, and you see him like that, and Adagio, oh blimey, do you know what gets me out of depression? And it's fantastic. But I listen to a very special one. This is choral as well,
yeah.
a chorus, and all music and chorus, and it's unbelievable. And it's Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. The crescendo is unbelievable, and that brings me out of if we get a little depressed.
Again, we take for granted all of that. These composers knew what they were doing.
Of course,
They're not putting this down and thinking, well, someone somewhere down the timeline might find this a bit poignant. They write it because it does them in too. I think that's one of the reasons I started to play music as a kid, because of the emotions it inspires. And it's like a dialogue, but you don't talk. You don't have to talk to someone. You play music, whether piano or guitar, whatever, or or sing. We've been there, and that is, I think, that is the closest human beings have to being not about face, not about wealth, not about anything, not about possessions. It's just about belonging in the
It's
world.
about feelings, human feelings.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Emotion, yeah. And
Well, when you look at that line, Shakespeare, that would be Shakespeare, didn't it? If music be the food of love, play on.
Play on. Love it.
Just that line.
That line.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through the Polo Mint. Well said, Anthony.
Oh, thank you, Polo Mint.
Steve says, I'm going to celebrate Diogo career at LFC and send him as a family man. Celebrate his life with the good memories he gave me. That's lovely, that.
Yeah.
This is why we're here. This is why we're here, for the first hour. Yes, well, sir, I think that's great. I'm fighting Bear. I promise, says Davil. Because, he has, to keep fighting. And Steve says, welcome, Anthony.
Thank you, Steve.
And the Scottish guys, remember, like and subscribe to Frank's channel.
Yeah.
Jeff. Onslaught statements, what's to say? What can anyone say at a time like this when the shock and the pain is incredibly raw? I wish I had the words, but I know I do not. All I have are feelings that I know so many people would share about a person and a player we love dearly and a family man we care so much about. My first thoughts are not those of a football manager. They are of a father, a son, a brother, and an uncle. And they belong to the family of Diogo and Andre Silva, who have experience. Barry, even in Frank and Anthony, I remember being woken up on the day Bill Shankly passed away, and today felt the same inexplicably.
No.
We all know.
Yeah. Because we can't see these things. Yeah.
Callum says, news breaking, we have retired. Oh, not lovely. This is what we've been saying. The 20 shirt has been retired. No one will wear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll always be there.
That in itself is a fitting tribute.
Fantastic tribute. Fantastic. The King.
Can wear it.
Diogo and Andre. Thoughts with your family, friends, and fans. Heartbreaking, says the King. And Steve, today, LFC, as family, as parents, as friends, as fans, fans lost a great player. husband and father, lost 2 sons, great friends and person, rest in paradise, Diogo and Andre. The King. Hope you're well, Frank and Anthony. Thank you, King.
Thanks, King.
Thank you.
Hope you are too.
And Bella says, it's a very sad night. Always hug and kisses. Always hug and kiss the ones you love. As you can see, you never know the day or the minute when you lose someone.
That's right. Yeah. Tell those that you love them. Tell those that you don't too.
Yeah. I'll have to give my next door neighbour a knock. Give them a hug.
Give them all a hug. You
Yeah.
do anyway.
I did it to James when he was leaving. And his mate. His mate got a hug. But number 21 for our number 20, nothing less will do, say Lee's the whiskey. I hope they do something and say this is for Diogo. I really do. I just feel so sorry for those kids. I really do. Sorry, I can't stay in one place long. Claustrophobia and anxiety make my head want to burst. I'll try and come in more often, Frank. Big up all, says Lee the Whiz Kid. Take it easy, Lee. And after these 2 comments, we'll go for a break. Simon, there are no goodbyes for us, wherever you are. You will always be in my heart. Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
Well, it's cold, that is. Martin Quirk.
Ah, I love him, Marty. We played in a band when we were kids, and I mean, I was a kid once. He is the most wonderful person, an absolute true red, lifetime red. Beautiful soul, Marty. Oh.
Wow. Martin says, heartbreaking day. Life is too short. Now then, Mr. Brown, it's been a while, brother. Let's go to Sam's. I know where that is, Sam's. When they reopen in a few weeks' time for Sam's Scram and catch up. Bring Mr. Carlyle with you.
There you go. That's where we're going then.
That's a date, eh? And I'll go to that. And the last comment before we go for a break, and it's the mince pie man himself.
Oh.
Evening, Frankie and Anthony. There's 2 pints for me and 2 Scots for you. And a thumbs up.
Evening, Tony. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you, mate.
Some beautiful.
Scottish Bear must know. Martin, it's great to see you, and a thumbs up. Isn't that lovely? You know, it's just come on the thing, and we're welcoming him.
That's
Martin. We're welcoming him.
Yes,
Martin.
Yeah.
What we'll do, we'll go for a quick break if you don't mind, Anthony.
Yeah.
The Anglican Cathedral is the most noticeable building in Liverpool for its sheer size. Yet, there are things that are totally unnoticed. When people visit this magnificent cathedral, what they fail to notice is the actual grave of its architect, Giles Gilbert Scott. It's with great anticipation of going into the cathedral that they just simply walk over his grave. Earlier on, we were outside the town hall with Giles Gilbert Scott's 2 Grade 2 listed telephone boxes. Have a look at the third. Follow me. Here we are inside. Let's find that third telephone box. Here we are. And do you know what? There are not many Grade 2 listed structures inside a Grade 1 listed building, and this is the third telephone box in the collection. Every cathedral has a symbolic mouse, and the Anglican Cathedral is no exception, and it's very difficult to find unless you know where it is. This is the Earl of Derby's tomb, and the mouse rests here, and there he is. The reason why it's shiny is because when people visit, they actually rub it for luck. Normally, this place, the gantry, is out of bounds to the general public, but we have special permission to show a real Liverpool unnoticed inside the cathedral. What people don't realise about this wonderful stained glass window is that the Liver buildings was used as a template by the glazier, because if the window wasn't there, you would see the Liver, and there it is. Unfortunately, we have to leave the Anglican Cathedral now because I think a service is starting, but we need to go back outside to see another magnificent Liverpool unnoticed. And here we are. Just take a look at this. Don't be fooled, we're not in ancient Greece, we're actually in the city centre of Liverpool. This is the finest miniature Greek Doric temple in the world. Its architect, John Foster Jr., wanted his own Parthenon on his own Mount Olympus, and you can see why. Unbelievably, people don't even notice this. They simply walk past it. Incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, I think Anthony's gone on me. But anyway, that showed you there a temple, and that's in, I always get this little wrong. That particular temple wasn't in Greece, you know, that preserved temple. It's in Agrento, Sicily, and I hope to be seeing it. I hope to be going there on my jaunts over to Sicily. I hope so anyway. And there he is back. You okay?
I am okay, Frank. Thank you.
I thought you got off.
No. Have I ever got off on you? No.
Big Simon's trying to give us some kind of humour, because it's so sad today. And he says, I say to a man in a shop, is rat? He say, no, no, no. It's a special kind of hamster. It's filigree Siberian hamster. Only one in shop. He makes special price, only £5. I hope it gives a chuckle, says Simon. And obviously we know where that came from. The infamous Manuel from Fawlty Towers. That was a mad scene. That.
Loved it.
It's a rat. Look, it's a rat. And Barry says the Charity Shield game versus Palace could be extremely emotional, with some banners reminding us what a wonderful person Diogo was, despite the pre-season games.
I think it should be emotional.
And Callum says, also, Frank, rest in peace to Muhammad Ali, to Muhammad Al-Nan, the Palestinian pro footballer killer.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but absolutely.
Redbird, I love you, Frank, and you, Anthony. Sending you both hugs. This is so sad about Jota and his bro, Andre. Isn't that lovely?
It is lovely. Thank you.
Lovely? And Barry says, you may laugh, Frank, but do any of those telephones in the cathedral work? Yeah, they do, actually. I haven't been in there, for a very, very long time. And I don't know whether they've updated them, inside the phone box, because they were the old ones. So I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to, I've got to show you this. Got to. And this is a thing going on this Sunday, and it's the Shallow and Horse and Pony Sanctuary, and it's a music fundraiser, Buckley Hill Lane, Netherton, Liverpool, and it's Sunday, the 6th of July. Rebecca Riley, Anna and Sion, and Chris Elliott, so they're there. There's Ellis Murphy, Kate Elder, Mike Badger, Simon Cousins, and donations on entrance. It's free, but it's donations. There's everything there, and it'll be a wonderful day. And it's for horses and ponies. And young Ayla, who's Jason's daughter, she goes up every weekend and helps out.
Yeah.
That kid. You know what I mean? She's only a school girl. And
Absolutely.
She goes up, her and a couple of friends. And they just help out all the time. And they're having this fest on their Sunday. And, if you live up that way, or you like horses or whatever, just go along to the festival. And they're all given the time, the musicians, they're all giving up their time to go along and help.
Brilliant.
This is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of it.
Yeah, it is.
And if you want the number, I don't know the number.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got it?
no, it's after that. I think Jason will have to put it on at the end, or just put it up
Okay.
there somewhere. You know, here somewhere.
Real family day out.
It'll be a great little day out for the fam. But I've got to show this. I really do. So stay with me here. I'll just show this. I'll just show this. Hang on. I won't yet. I won't yet. Right. And this is a quick one. This is for tomorrow night. Okay? This is for tomorrow night. I won't tell what it's about, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
Telling you. So we can't wait for that tomorrow, in all honesty. But I want to show this. And what it is, this is brilliant. This is Liverpool. And I've just got to zoom in a little. Got to zoom in a little. Now, what I want you to see is this. You can see it. We can do it a little bit more. And there's a train right there.
Wow, I see it. Yeah, yeah.
That's a train. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the new exchange station.
Wow.
And there is the wonderful. No, just bear with me. Bear with me on this. Just got to get this spot on here. It's going to break my heart, this, you know. It's going to break my heart. Right. Do you know that's St. Paul's, that church there? And really, it was white.
Wow.
And remember St. Paul's Eye Hospital?
Yeah.
Well, this was named after it. After this church. They pulled it down. It was a beautiful piece of architecture. Beautiful piece. And here you have the town hall. The town hall.
Yeah.
Right? Castle Street. Then you go into South Castle Street. It's around here is South Castle Street. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that, Anthony, is the custom house. That's the custom house.
Wow. How close it was.
It was enormous. And it was white. Could you imagine that there today?
Yes. I could.
And here is the wonderful Sailor's Home.
Wow.
And could you imagine that there today?
Yes. Absolutely.
It's so sad when we just let me go out a little. So there, here. Let me zoom in a little. That, believe it or not, was the pro-cathedral, St. Peter's,
Okay.
Church Street.
Yeah.
And the strange thing is, they decided to pull it down in 1920. It was built in 1701. 1701, and they pulled it down. Simply because they said, oh, the cathedral's built now, the Anglican. But it
Yeah.
wasn't even built, it was half built. They said, well, we don't need that now, and they pulled it down. Now you might think, well, what's this here? Let me go in again. Now don't forget, this is Castle Street. Right?
Yeah.
Did you see that church?
Yeah.
That was St. George's Church. So this was built in 1726. 1726, 1727, because that's on the site of where the castle was. That's the castle. That's where the monument is, Victoria's monument is today. And the fella who actually designed this church was none other than Thomas Steers. Now, Thomas Steers, he was a Dutchman. And we brought him up. We said, listen, because he was a great engineer with water. And we brought him up to Liverpool. We said, can you do anything, with this river? And he said, yeah. And he built the very first wet dock in the entire world. And it's opened its gates, you might as well say. In 1715. He started work in 1709. It only took 6 years to build the first wet dock in the entire world.
Oh.
And His Grace, the Duke of Westminster, he only lived over the water, didn't he, in Cheshire?
Yeah.
I remember Tony Robinson doing that, what he used to do, like a little historical program.
Yeah.
And as Grace looked at, we did a DVD of it, the dock.
Yeah.
And someone showed him it. And he said, well, what I've seen is far better than what Tony Robinson did. Because they just looked at it and went away. He said, whereas that presenter showed everything and all about it. That was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got
Absolutely.
aware of that.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's the fella who built that as well. He was a Dutchman named Thomas Steers. So they anglicised his name, and how many times have we said that over the past? Anglicising the names. So Thomas Steers became Thomas Steers, the Dutchman. And on that site there today is Victoria's monument. He pulled it down because they wanted to give something about or do something about Victoria, because she was a very old lady at the time, so they pulled that down. In 1896, and they built the church. They pulled the church down, St. George's. And the sad thing about it is, They brought in a fella 100 years later, just over 100 years later, after this was built in 1701. 1726, 1727. So 100 years later, they brought someone in to strengthen the church, and they brought in none other than John Foster Jr. Now, John Foster Jr. also designed and built this wonderful
custom house.
Just imagine, put in your mind right now St. George's Hall. And this here was well bigger than St. George's Hall. And it's had more columns than St. George's Hall.
Wow.
So sad, isn't it, really, when you come to think of it?
It is. It's absolutely remarkable what you said about your dialogue with King Charles, who was Prince Charles then, who absolutely loved, adored St. George's Hall, because Queen Victoria loved it. And it was kind of, you go to this town, this building is flagship, second to none. Imagine his feelings when the custom house went.
Yeah.
He must have hit the roof.
Yep. Yep. And imagine how many buildings would have gone today only without, people demonstrating. And I'll tell you one of them. I'll tell you two of them. One is a pub, and the other one's iconic for the city centre, which is, I'll give you the one first, which is the Lyceum at the bottom of Bowl Street.
Yeah.
That was started to be built in 1794. 1794. It opened its doors in 1801. The Lyceum.
Yeah.
Have you ever been inside the Lyceum?
I have.
Okay. Now, when you walk through there, you were walking in the footsteps of the likes of Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens. The likes of William Rathmone, one of the fella who actually gave us Liverpool the very first paid nurse in the world, and that was Agnes Jones.
Yeah.
And also, who walked in there was another William. And who do you think that was? William Roscoe. They reckon the greatest Liverpudlian.
Yeah.
And what he brought to Liverpool was, without question, some of the you're an artist. He brought great Italian art over.
He did.
He looked at exotic plants and he said, right, I'm going to do that. And he opens up a garden, botanical gardens, in 1801, the first of its kind in the world.
Yeah.
He walked in the Lyceum. Nathaniel Hawthorne. And the other fella who wrote Moby Dick, he went in the Lyceum. All the greats went into the Lyceum. And you followed it. I did. Followed in the footsteps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they wanted to pull it down. He wanted to knock it down. Now, the other one he wanted to knock down was incredible. Remember Freddie O'Connor?
Yeah.
He phoned me up. He said, Frank, you need to get down here. I said, down where? He said, down here. I said, where are you? He said, I'm outside the post office. I said, oh, Cumberland Street. I said, I know where it is. He said, get down here. Can you? I said, okay. So I went down. I said, what's up? There was a few people there. And it was early morning, you know, by the way. And what it was, they wanted to pull it down. I said, oh, because the renovation, you know, they were pulling buildings down left, right, and centre, as you know. I said, they won't pull this down. He said, they're pulling it down. They want to build flats. I said, oh. So anyway, he said, will you help? So I helped. Not to pull it down. Because when I did find out that they did, they said, do you realise who's been in there and has a drink? He went, well, it's got to come down. I said, it's got to come down. What do you mean it's got to come down? Well, we want to build flats, I said. You know what, you can imagine what I said, you know, rather than using the expletives, because there's lovely lazy stuff. Anyway, we saved it, and we saved the Lyceum as well. But only for the likes of Freddie and a couple of others.
Yeah.
That would have been no more.
Yeah.
That would have been no more. Because one of the biggest characters to go in there, allegedly, but I believe he did, was none other than Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
The names are there. Dickens. And as I said about Nathaniel Hawthorne going into the Lyceum, he used to drink in there. And he was the American consul here in Liverpool. Hated Liverpool. He said it was full of ruffians. But he used to go in there for a little bit of, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And he wrote the Scarlet Letter, by the way. Nathaniel Hawthorne. He was not just a consul, American consul. He was also an author.
Yes, that's where I heard. Yeah, and he was best friends with a few American presidents.
Yeah. Let's see, these were Martin. Oh, let's see what Barry says first. Jota being taken home to Portugal at Liverpool for the wake in South Cosmo, followed by the funeral on Saturday at 10 a.m. according to the Daily Mail. That's quick, isn't it? Very quick. And Martin says, Frank, do you know anything about Joseph Needs Walker, who owns what we now call Calderstones Park? Yeah, he was more of a, he was a philanthropist, put it that way. And Calderstones, there was two things about Calderstones which again they wanted to demolish. And that was the White Mansion House. And I said to these people who haven't a clue, and I'm talking councillors. I'm talking councillors, Martin. I said, you want to pull the White Mansion down? The White Mansion house down? Well, you know, we've got to gain flats. Money's the curse of everything. Flats. I said, okay. And what? He said, well, you know, it'll look nice. I said, no, it won't. I said, that's greed. I said, do you know the historical significance of this White Mansion house? Well, you know, it's been there a while. I said, it's been there a while. I said, it was the ancestral home of Sir Spencer Perceval, a Liverpool Prime Minister, and the only Prime Minister ever to be assassinated on the 11th of May, 1812, and you want to pull that down. Go away in the corner. I was more younger and more vociferous then. But anyway, we saved it. And the other thing, they wanted to move the stones. That's why it's called the Calder Stones. The ancient stones. Only for them. Yeah, so Joseph Walker, he belongs to the Walker family. You know, the brewers. That's who he belongs to. Great people. Remember the art gallery, the Walker Gallery, as we call it today? They had that built, the Walker Gallery. And they presented the artwork. Even they got some of the artwork belonging to Roscoe.
Yeah, it is.
William Roscoe.
Yeah.
You know, so one day I'll talk about lots of philanthropists, and I'll be surprised who were philanthropists. Do you know who's a modern day philanthropist today still for Liverpool, Anthony? Right today, as I'm speaking, and he'll be doing something today, he'll be doing something tomorrow. And not many people know this. So I'll tell you who it is.
Yeah.
And it's a fella near your heart, actually. A fella near everybody's heart. And that's Paul McCartney. If you ever bump into Tony Snell, and here's what he said, Paul. And he said it to Snell, he said, look, he said, I want to say what you do for you know, I'm talking a lot of charities. He said, I want to mention it. And he went, if you do, I'll stop the charities. I'll stop giving. I just want to remain anonymous. So use my anonymity. Don't say no. Because they knew about Lipper. He said, that's all he got. And Linda's, you know, hospital, you know, war. They know about Linda. And they give to that and Lipper.
Yeah.
He said, that's all they need to know. Not about other charities. One of the great philanthropists of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Along with Kitty Wilkinson, Agnes Jones, as you know, those two. William Rathbone, William Roscoe.
Yeah.
Great philanthropists. But I'll talk about philanthropy in the future. And Martin says, I used to DJ at the Lyceum. God bless William Roscoe.
Yeah.
Could have easily have come down. Could have easily have come down. And when you look and think, you know, we thought what they wanted, you know, that precinct that's there now, they knocked down more or less Casey Street to build it, you know, the big glass roof. They wanted to put that down there.
Yeah.
On the site.
Yeah.
Of the Lyceum. A fella by the name of Harrison built it, by the way. From Chester. Well, not built it, he designed it. The Lyceum. Beautiful, beautiful building.
Just beautiful. Yeah.
I think they should grade it to 1 instead of 2-star, because they can still knock them down. And Roscoe built it after getting barred from the Athenaeum. Well, the Athenaeum, that was it still is the oldest gentleman's club. It's like Martin, the Playhouse. The Playhouse is the oldest repertory. And I think it's the oldest repertory, not only in this country, but also in the world. Repertory company.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is it. Can I just go on to this?
Go on.
Just bear with me on this, Martin. Let me just go to what our wonderful Simon says. He says the Philharmonic dining rooms, also known as the Phil, part of Liverpool's musical history, visited by the likes of Buddy Holly, Paul McCartney, and John Lennon. Grade 1 listed building. Spot on there. You're spot on. I just want to say, just bear with me on this. Sorry about this. Now, yeah, there's something. Gotta zoom in on this. Got to. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
Do you know where that is?
Looks like a football ground.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a footy. I'll tell you what it is. And you're going to go away. Because there's lots of things that, you know, you look at and you go, wow. And what it is, I'll tell you what this is first. This was, and it was massive. It was a big, it was like a little mansion, right? That, but you're going to get it now in the end.
Yeah.
And bear in mind these here, right? That building there, right?
Yeah.
And this particular one. Right. You know, I was on the clip that was shown before.
Yeah.
Right. And I said about the finest miniature Doric temple in the world. That's it.
Wow.
This here is William Huskerson's mausoleum, monument here.
So that's
The site of, and this is Gambia Terrace.
Yeah.
Gambia Terrace.
Which thankfully still stands.
Oh yeah. Where John Lennon lived.
Yeah, Stuart Sutcliffe, Bill Harry.
Yeah. And what I got the surprise of my life when I found out was Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he come up
Huh?
to uni, studied up here?
Sorry?
He was the arty one, wasn't he, out of the band?
Oh, he was the arty one, yeah, very much so. Very much so, Anthony. So on there, ladies and gentlemen, is the cathedral today.
Yeah.
The big Anglican cathedral. And what you have as well, which people don't realise, is that this site here wasn't the proposed site for the Anglican cathedral. Here wasn't the site, because the site was down by where the entrance to the 1934 tunnel is. Queensway.
Of course.
Yeah, and that was the site. So they said, no, we can't have it there. It'll look out of place with the likes of St. George's Hall and all the rest of the neoclassical buildings.
Yeah.
It'll look totally out of place because this is Gothic. So they decided to have a look at another site, and there it is.
Wow.
Because when you go down here and you go along Hope Street, got another site there. Right there. That's the other site. And that's where the Catholic Cathedral is.
So that's where
And I'm sorry, what to say, Anthony?
I was just going to say, that's where the workhouse was then.
Oh, massive. Massive. Let's zoom in. So remember this one here. Bear with me on this, people. Bear with me. I always get this wrong, you know. That's where I am now. Right. Now, doesn't it look lovely? It looks lovely, right? Just let me zoom out a little. Just want to be sure. Right, so you're out this. This site. Sorry. You're up this site here. Let me zoom in. I always get this. Right. And there it is there. And that's the biggest workhouse in the country. That was the biggest workhouse in the whole. Do you know that only all the workhouses throughout the country could only hold 1,100 people? And this was the biggest one. And it could hold about 4,000, it was built for 4,000.
Wow.
And yes, it was screaming, heaving, because at one time there was 11,000 inmates in there.
Wow.
And that's where, you know, the likes of Kitty Wilkinson and Agnes Jones come into the fore. Because they went in and seen all these diseased people, and they washed the walls down with lime.
But the great irony is, as you were saying last week, as we talked last week, is that the very people that built the city, the Italians, the Irish, the Chinese, all of them in varying degrees would have been in that workhouse. So there's your bed and your lodgings, go to work, and they would go to work and build a city and then come back to stay there.
And that, oh, sorry.
No, the millionaires didn't shovel any bricks. Sorry, Frank, go on.
No, I'm awfully sorry. I got a message off Francine, and she said, do you want to go to... I just want to show where the site was for the... come on, where is it? I'll have to go right out. Excuse me. I'll have to go right out. I want to make sure, you see. Francine doesn't think I'm doing a pod. She doesn't think I'm doing it. Right, so let me see. I've got to go along here. I can't. Let me see.
That's an amazing map, that's so Frank, isn't it?
It is. Now, there's St. George's Hall, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where it was, Anthony?
You were...
I was there.
I think, yeah, you were, yeah, just to the right of that.
You see there, I'll have to go right in. It's terrible, you know. I'll be going over the page. Right. That church, yes, I never thought I'd miss it. That hang on. Yeah. That church there, that's St. George's Church in Everton. That church became the very first building with an iron infrastructure in 1814. A fella named Rickman, and he said to his mate named Craggs, he said, do us a favour, he said, you know, you're in the iron business. He said, yeah. He said, can you give me an iron infrastructure on a building I'm doing? And he said, yeah. So St. George's Church had the very first iron infrastructure in the entire world. Opens its doors. Right. In 1814. Problem is, the Catholic cathedral, which I'm only guessing on this, I have to guess on this, and it was around about here, St. Domingo Vale. Yeah? St. Domingo Vale. No, hang on, there. So it was around about here, St. Domingo Vale. Right? Oh, that's it, yeah. That's a church. Oh, I forget the name of the church. I forget the name of the bloody church. Can you say bloody when you mention the church? But anyway, I forget the name of the church. Bottom of St. Domingo Vale. And they wanted to put it there. The cathedral, the Catholic cathedral.
Yeah, up the hill.
But a little bit of sectarianism said, no, you're not putting it there. So they said, oh, well, okay then. Because that was the original one. And as I said, they decided then to put it there. Because this church here was St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas's church. And that became the pro-cathedral. St. John's Church, St. George's Hall, and look how it is, as it was then.
Wow.
Now just imagine the Anglican Cathedral going here, right there, because that's the Mersey Tunnel there. St. John's Gardens.
No, it's as you described the other week. I can't imagine it going there now, because obviously because it hasn't, but
No.
so because of the beauty of that part of the city.
Yep. And as I showed you there before, that's St. Peter's, the cathedral of the Anglican Cathedral.
Yeah. And Church Street.
So what do you think of tonight?
The show.
Tonight?
I have enjoyed tonight, Frank. I know it's been a poignant one for all who are on with us. But I truly thankful that you did the show, because again it gave the opportunity for all of us.
Upsetting for us all.
Yeah.
There was a lovely comment at the beginning.
Yeah.
That it said, you know, you're carrying on with this show. This is what we need to vent our sadness.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do it, you know, Anthony.
I can imagine. That's why I didn't phone you today, because I figured if I phone and, you know.
That's why I know that you and Jason were sending messages across.
Yeah. But
there's no way I'm going on that.
Kind of separate. But again, that involved me doing something today. That's what I did. You know, so it came from like, can't do nothing, to doing something. But I didn't want us to have a conversation, because if you'd have said to me, what do you think? You know, think I should leave it out of respect?
It would have fucking killed me, honest, Anthony.
Part of me would have said,
if you'd have said anything, I would have just gone, Anthony, I can't do this.
You've got to go.
Because you're so emotional as well.
Yeah.
We're all emotional. And I just...
But you're driving it.
Yeah. And I just said, I won't go on that. I won't go on that messaging thing. So anyway, James was here. And he said, you doing a pod? And I went, yeah. And this other lads went like that. What do you do? I said, I do history and different things. We were talking about Jota.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, look, that's what I do. And he was made up. He said, my wife loves conspiracy theories, because that came up, you know, when I showed them so. And he said, I'll get it to that. I said, well, I'm doing one tomorrow. And I've got to show what I'm doing. People.
Yeah.
Honestly, tune in for that. You won't be disappointed. No. You will not be disappointed.
Never have been, and I can't imagine I ever would.
I'll just finish off with these comments, if I might. Simon says, never knew Ye Hole in the Wall was Liverpool's oldest pub and was the last only men's pub in Liverpool until the Sex Discrimination Act came in, allowing women's access. Yeah, the oldest pub. And do you want me to tell you how it got its name? And it's all in Ye Hole in the Wall. Shall I tell them, Anthony, how we got its name?
Bearing in mind that we couldn't get in Christmas time.
No, we couldn't.
Ladies, could we?
Yeah, no.
And it's always chocker.
Yeah. We were with Francine and Lainey, weren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell them how it got its name.
Yeah.
Where Rigby's is, and you see that arch, that's where the horses used to go in, into the little stables to feed. But the first one on the left, was always empty. Because when people came into Rigby's, it was an inn for victuals, food. The fella used to go, "Do you fancy a drink?" And he go, "Yeah, all right." You all had Scouse accents then, And he went, "Yeah, all right. What have you got?" So yeah, come with me. So anyway, he used to bring them in to the stable, where horses go. And he pulled this slab back and he said, "Yeah, go in there." So they used to go in, and there was a table in there, a couple of lamps, and they used to have a drink. So he got caught, the fella, and he got heavily fined. And he said, "If you've got to have a license for liquor. You have to have a license. So if I were you, I'd build a pub." So he did. And he called it Ye Hole in the Wall, the Slat.
Beautiful.
It's like the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse was the same.
Yeah.
Because sailors used to get off the ship, and sometimes, do you know what they used to be paid with, Anthony? Like if they'd have to wait for their money, which they used to have. Now, a lot of animals came into this country, the likes of sheep and pigs and cows and whatever.
Yeah.
And they used to say to sailors, "Hey, I'll have this. A sheep until you get paid." That's true. Or a pig. Not a cow, it's too big. So they used to bring it up to the butcher. Now, don't forget where that is situated. It's only down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, he said, "Yeah, mate, can you chop that up for us?" He'd have to kill it first, like. So he used to chop it up for them. And he got caught because he used to say, "Do you want to go in the back for a belly?" "Oh, yeah, all right." He used to go in for a drink. And he got collared. And he
Oh,
did exactly the same. So hence the slaughterhouse.
because it was.
It was it was a butcher's. And he used to slaughter the animals for the sailors. It's mad, isn't it?
That's why we love history.
I don't know where the Lisbon came out though. That got a slim. The least said about, the least said about that, the better. So you're right there, Simon. It's the oldest.
Oh,
And Martin says, "I volunteered for the Mansion House telling school kids about the cultist." Oh, brilliant. I hope you told them about Sir Spencer Percival, Martin. Because that's the most important thing. Sir Spencer Percival being killed by a scouser from Duke Street by the name. What a story that is, though. I'm not telling you it now, unfortunately, but what a story. It's incredible why he was assassinated.
What a history.
Our Prime Minister. Seen a photo of Everton View from the little prison type thing that's on the Everton Crest, where all the houses next to it are no longer there. Why did they bulldoze them? Wasn't the toffee lady there? Yeah, it was. And I tell you who used to go along for the Everton Mints, which were, this is a great little story. I've got to tell you this right now. He used to go along and he used to get his mints because a doctor from the old Royal, where the likes of, what's the fucking name? Anyway, he made like a medicine for these mints because it was bitter. this medicine. And Molly Bushell used to sell these mints. So, and he used to go along there, you know, for a couple of minutes because they became famous. And he used to go along there and sit. And do you know what? I won't tell you it now. I won't tell you it now because I'll read out something. I'm not going to read it out now. I won't read it out now. And you'll love it. And I'll say it on Monday. Is that all right?
Brilliant.
Anthony, you'll be made up with it, honestly.
I know I will. Yeah.
But
Brilliant.
you've got to remind me about Molly Bushell and a certain fella, well known. He used to go along, get these mints, and sit on a bench. Will you remind me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Jason's, I think he's going to shout at me. We're going to get shouted at. Oh, they are. Look. Oh. Thought he was going to shout at me. That's what he's put up.
Wow.
And there it is. Hey, Jason, can you find same place? I used to have the print. I haven't got it now. Someone borrowed it as usual, Anthony, and never got it back. They keep it, you know, and I forget who I lent things to. But anyway, Jason, it's an arch of bones, but they're no ordinary bones. The bones of whales. If you can ever, you don't have to find it now, Jay. It'll be great if you can find it for Monday, and I'll give the story about this certain person going to Molly Bushell's, which is you can't see me marker, which is there, right there. Someone send me an image. Keep getting messages, you know. So I think it'll be great. I really do. And that'll be for Monday. It'll be a great history show on Monday. Because I might talk about the Calder Stone. And the vlog, seen a photo. Oh yeah, that's what. Just wait, vlogs. Just wait until Monday, mate. You'll be made up with it. And Simon, Eleanor Rathbone was renowned for their impactful work as a social reformer, feminist and politician, particularly advocacy for family allowances, child benefit, women's rights and refugees.
Yeah.
You're right. All the Rathbones were. Well, I'll do all that. I'll do one history show. We'll be doing the likes of philanthropy. And it's surprising who's philanthropists. Simon says, thank you, Frank and Anthony, for tonight. It's been an emotional evening, but thank you for reading out all the messages. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for your lovely thoughts and memories of Diogo. Yes, beautiful. And It's so sad, isn't it? It's so sad. And Christopher, Frank and Anthony and everyone, a very sad day.
Yeah.
Is right, Christopher. And we'll leave all you lovely people with this thought from Mayor Angela. No matter what happens, or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be a better tomorrow. Mayor Angela. And the way she was treated over in America, because she was a black lady. Still a fucking shame, to be honest here. Lovely Bella, I tell you. Anthony and Franco. Is the building in Liverpool called the Blue Coat? As it,
Yeah.
Yes, was it originally built as a hospital and charity school, but now is for art? That's a cracker, that, because that's a very good one, Bella. And I'll tell you for why. It was built, it started in 1790. 1790. So, all right, let's just say 97. And it was completed. It wasn't like that date. I know it says that date, but it was completed around 1710, 1711. The Blue Coat. And what you've got to think of is the fellow who designed it. And the fellow who designed it, as I mentioned before, and he built the first wet dock in the entire world, and that was Thomas Stairs or Thomas Stairs. He built the Blue Coat Chambers. He built it. Well, he designed. He designed. And it was built. And people were trying to say that it was built on the blood of slaves, which it wasn't. It wasn't. No way. This fella was a tobacco merchant. He brought tobacco over from America. And that's all he was, tobacco merchant. So anyway, I'll give you more information about it on Monday, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Because his granddad, I'll tell you now, but I'll tell you about his granddad. He's what you call a land pirate. You know, you just didn't have pirates on the seas. You never just had them on the sea. You had them on land.
Wow.
And your one says, thank you, Frank. I'll tell you all about it on Monday. Thank you, Frank and Anthony, for brightening what has been a somber day for every football fan. Looking forward to the stream tomorrow. Hugs and love to all you legends in the chat. You'll never walk alone. Isn't that lovely?
That is lovely.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Thank you, Johan. Our
Yeah.
brother. These are our brothers.
Yeah.
Martin. Great show on a somber day. Sterling work, gentlemen. Thank you, Martin. And as Bella Ratelli would say, in Toscana, grazie mille. Grazie mille, signore.
See you at Sands, Marty.
Yeah, there you go. See you at Sands. And Simon to Johan, you're an honorary Scouser. You're a gentleman and a wonderful human being. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you, my brother, with a heart. How about that?
That's beautiful.
How about that?
Yeah.
Bella Italia. Another wonderful night of history. Thank you, Franco and Anthony. So interesting. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bella Italia.
Thank you.
Amazing that a tavern is still going since the 18th century. Yeah, freedom. Ye old in the war.
Yeah.
Ye old in the war. And Simon says, Jason keeps sending me messages, you know. Anyway, your answer there, Simon. It's kind of the like of what Franco always says. If you feel pain, you are alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being.
Yeah.
And my heart is scoused today. Isn't that?
Yeah.
That's why I love Tolstoy, Leo Tolstoy.
Yeah.
Jill LP. Hi, Frank. Hi, Jill. Jill, can you like and subscribe to get the algorithm up there? Please. Thank you. And I'd love you to join us again. Join us tomorrow about Queen Elizabeth I. Toscana. Thank you for tonight, Franco, Anthony, and everyone. I do think it was needed. Now that's simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that a simple message?
Yeah.
Frank and Anthony, can't wait for tomorrow. Love the queens and kings of England, especially about Elizabeth. Was she a man or a woman? That's the question. I'll have to answer Jason.
That's the question.
Right, I've got to read this. Sorry to change my glasses, people. Oh, Jason, yeah. I should have read it out. I should have read it out before, you know. And he says, when you were talking about the site of the cathedral area, wasn't that a quarry for it before it became the cemetery? Was the stone used locally or shipped away? No, it was built in the cathedral. Then they said, well, we'll have to get, and they went to, I forget where they went. To bring it in, Chesterfield, somewhere like that, Chesterfield, to bring more, to very similar stone. Then they made the cemetery because John Foster Jr., they said to him, listen, can you do it? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. And he designed the Elysian Fields, St. James's Cemetery. And what's in there? The catacombs. Fantastic. And he designed the greatest miniature Greek Doric temple in the world to give it the aestheticness. In 1828, he was building that at the same time as Gambia Terrace. But he was also, I'd love to show you where he lived. He lived in two places. No, he didn't. He lived in one place. I was thinking of another fella by the name of Harvey Lonsdale Elms, where he lived. And if I showed you where he lived, you'll go, well, and it's only like a terraced house, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I go, see that up there? What does it remind you of? And they go, St. George's Hall, honestly. He designs his little house like St. George's Hall. And I showed him it. I said, see, look. And you look over. I said, buildings weren't here in front of them. So he could go home and just look out of his window and see it being built. Just like John Foster Jr. could go into his house and overlook the building of the Gambia Terrace,
Yeah.
the little Greek Doric temple, and also the cemetery. The cemetery lasted 100 years exactly. It opened the gates in 1836 and closed the gates 100 years later exactly, with 52,000 interns. Jill says, I haven't seen you in ages. Jill, have you got my phone number? If you have, send me a message. If I think you're the Jill I'm thinking of. But make sure that you've got my number. Because I've changed my number, you see. With all these girls running after me for the money back. Oh, Jill, you're smashing. If you're the Jill I'm thinking of. Smashing if you get hold of me. You know, I don't mean anything like that, but I mean, if we can contact one another. If you're the Jill I'm thinking of. The Scottish Bear, a queen with balls. I'm up for that, says the And as he says, subscribe and like for Frank, guys. Thank you. Oh, this pack, look. He always comes on last. The red sandstone for the cathedral. Yeah, you're right there. Oh. No, you're right, but there's another thing about that, to be honest. Paco, yeah. He's just some lovely photographs, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've seen some on his Instagram and stuff. Yeah.
No, I last spoke to you after I got back from. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jill, yeah. That's right. Then you vanished from my Facebook. What has happened? I lost lots of friends, unfortunately, Jill. If you look for Scout Francis on Facebook, that's me. Because I was hacked and they banned me. But I didn't want to, and I don't take, I don't take lots of friends, requests. I get loads of them. I really do, but I'm terrified to add them simply because it's a hacker. But if you sent me one, friggin' Jill, yeah, Jill. Now I know, yeah. Now I know. Listen, get on me facey, because no one will know now. Send me a friend request and I'll add you. I'll confirm it. Okay? Do that for me. And the barrier. Thanks for tonight, gents. Top draw, history show. Look forward to the next one. Great. God. Jim Pullman. Fucking hell. Oh, Jim. That's lovely, honestly. We're friends. Anyway, pack home, champ. If you look at Queen Victoria and Derby Square, yes. Now, come on. This is a watershed, you know. Do you know what? They wanted to, when we were filming there, he said, shall we? I said, no. I said, we can't do that. You know, when we were doing the DVD, I said, no, we can't do that. We're nice people. And Jill says, don't blame you. That's for, ardent people. We'll do. Great, Jill. Brilliant. Scouse Francis. And I'll add you immediately. And on that wonderful note, I've just got to thank Gap Painting Services for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle show. And please, please don't struggle. If you're an NHS worker, you get a special discount. If you're an elderly person, like Anthony, you get a special wage. Or Jill, you get over an elderly person like Jill. I'm only joking, Jill. She won't have me as a friend now. Anyway, excuse me. Honestly, you get a special discount. So NHS worker, elderly. But even if you don't fit into those categories, people, they're very reasonable. Don't struggle. Please don't struggle. And get Gap Painting Services in. Oh. And if you ever go to at Scarf or a Badge, go online at scarforabadge.com and you can get these. This is why I wore this tonight in honor of number 20 and Diogo. But don't forget, next Tuesday, I'll be having a wonderful super show, football, and I've got the great Jamie Phillips on with me. I've got him on. Great man, lovely man. Jill says, send you a message on Scouse. I'll reply to that immediately. I'll reply. Yeah, I'm days up to see you, honest. Honest, it's a nice surprise after all what we've been through today.
Yeah.
Smashing. So, and also, this chap here, right facing me, Anthony, if you want to see his work, there it is there. And we'll do some of your work on Monday as well. Is that okay?
That's brilliant with me, Frank. Thank you.
No, never mind, thank you. It's got to be shown. It's got to be shown. And, but we will be doing, about that. You've got to remind me, about the gentleman.
Yeah.
Mints. And the people will be made up because I have to read something. Honestly, yeah. I have to read it. And they'll see what I mean when I read it. Yeah. Where this fella sits. And on that wonderful note, I've got to thank as usual, this wonderful man sitting facing me. The great artist, gentle of gentlemen, and I mean gentle man. Anthony Brown, my friend, my very good friend. And we always hug each other, don't we?
Yes.
Especially when we go into Lisbon.
Yeah.
More joking. When I was with John Lee that time, met this fella walking down. And John said to me, when he comes down, I've got to see my cousin. He owns the bar or something. I said, where? He said, in the Lisbon. So I said, oh, okay then. And anyway, we're walking down, seeing this fella. And he went, Frank, big old guy like this, picking me off. Frank, great to see you, long time. Do you fancy a bevy? I said, yeah. I said, we're going down here. He said, where are you going? I said, we're going down to Lisbon. He went, I've just got to get a bus. I'll see you. Ta-ra, Frank. It's been a while, bro. Yeah, and got off. He's over me and everything, kissing me. I mentioned the Lisbon. He said, I've got to get a bus. Saturday night, I've got to get a bus. You just can't make these bloody things up. And the boss, LFC and lads, LOLFC and lads, Anthony and all, I would like to join, but today's news, Diogo, yes, has got to be. Boss, no problem. Choked, I wish you all the best. You'll never walk alone with hope. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
And Simon says, as my friend Dave Allen once said, I still think of myself as I was 25 years ago. Then I look in the mirror and see an old bastard and realise it's me.
Oh, me too, Simon. Oh my God.
And me. So Anthony, Monday.
Fantastic, Frank. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will be there. I'll be tuning in tomorrow night because I don't want to miss that one.
No, okay. And for all the people out there, for all you chatters, without you, Jason, there'd be nothing there.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
most importantly, am I right, Andy? And most importantly, it's the people on there.
Yes. Both accounts. Jason and the gang.
Exactly, because if you're not there, there'll be no show.
No.
There'll be no show. Believe you me, there'll be no show. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah. But I hope you join me tomorrow and give you one last shot. One last shot. Join me for that. And I'll just say, Anthony, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Chap, for keeping Anthony and myself alive, actually. Thank you for the wonderful comments. Really wonderful comments. And they're very they're intelligent, these people.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
Yeah.
It's comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful comments, wonderful people.
I just love them, honestly. So, I'll see you all tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If you don't join me tomorrow night, I'll see you Saturday morning with the film and TV review and everything goes on there. Thank you, people. And I'll end it here. Ciao bella. Ciao bella tutti. Grazie mille. A domani. A domani.
Good night all. Thank you.